Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhart here with you. Electric. It's a beautiful thing. When they take your electric away for 3 days, life is not good, but everything's back up and cooking and running, and yeah, the world's a happy place again. So here we go. LA League Football Week 10. We reached the finish line of the regular season. This will be video 1 of 3 this week. Talk about the Section 1 games. Here we go. Ready? First up, let's talk about Wilson first. Bulldogs are at home. They take on Warwick. Warriors are 2-4 and 2-7, playing for pride here. They go to West Lawn and get Wilson. Bulldogs are 6-0 and 8-1. Clinched a tie for the section championship. Wilson wins it outright with a win here on Friday. That would be 4 undefeated runs through Section 1 in a row. Nobody's ever done that. That's impressive. Winning streak sits at 28 in a row, dating back to 2007, and a loss to Manheim Township. Interesting note here. Who was the last Section 1 team to beat Wilson at Wilson? It was Warwick, also in 2007 in the section opener. Bulldogs had 2 section losses that year, haven't lost since, hello. But Warwick won at Wilson. Actually, I was at that game, believe it or not. It was 14-12. Warwick sprung it on them. I think Warwick went on to go like 9-2 that season, I want to say. Resch was the quarterback. Good team. Different trip this time. Wilson looking to wrap up another run through here undefeated. Bulldogs are also number 5 on the District 3 Quad A line. Looks like all 5, knock on wood, are probably going to win. So Wilson's probably looking at a 5 seed and a home game for round 1. Warwick at Wilson. See if the Bulldogs can go 7-0 again. That's getting staggering. Next up, good rivalry game. Manheim Township. Blue Streaks go on the road to Hempfield. Manheim Township's 5-1 in the section, 7-2 overall. Hempfield's 4-2 in the section and 4-5 overall. Believe it or not, Hempfield with a loss here looks like can still go to districts. There's a lot of goofy stuff happening around the 16 line here in Quad A. I know Carlisle's involved one way or another, and I want to say they play Cumberland Valley this week, so that's a tricky game for them. CV right now is on the 1 line, but I think Hempfield could lose here and still go. So Friday night, get your calculators out, and we'll see what happens. No clue. These formulas are nutty. I have no idea. I'm just going to let it play out and see what happens. Township bouncing back after the Wilson loss, came back last week. Played a good game against McCaskey, led 35-0 at the half. Went on to win 35-14. Township's also looking at a home game here for districts. They are on the 8 line, which is on the cut. 8 gets a home game, 9 is on the road at 8. So a win here in Township should safely be in the top 8 for a home game. Those guys would love another home game. And they played great this season. They challenged Wilson right up to week 8. And if Warwick can spring an upset and Township can win, we'd have a tie. So keep an eye on that as well. Good rivalry game. Always fun when the Streaks and the Black Knights get together in any sport. And this is interesting. And if Hempfield wins, it's definitely going. And you know they'd like to earn their way in and not kind of take the back door. So we'll see how that plays out. Always a fun game. Township at Hempfield with a lot of implications and ramifications. Next up, McCaskey at Ephrata. This game means nothing, but that's okay. Ephrata's final game in Section 1 before it goes down to Section 2 next season. Mounts are 1-5 in the section, 1-8 overall. Coming off first win, beat Cedar Crest last week, 48-35 in a shootout. Jeremy Frank had a big night, 11 for 13, 175 and a touchdown, 2 touchdown runs. Alex Strack rushed for 155. Tim Murray rushed for 164. A lot of fun stats last week for Ephrata. Offense busted out and did a lot of things. They gave up 35 points, but they scored 48 and won. So Ephrata off the schneid, gets a win. Snapped a 15-game losing streak, I want to say, dating back to early last season. They get a home game here. Last game in Section 1 against McCaskey. Lost to Township last week. Snapped a 2-game winning streak for the Tornado. They're 2-4 and 2-7. So McCaskey playing for momentum going into the offseason for sure. They'd like to finish strong after being picked second in this section. Ephrata waving goodbye to Section 1. Last game here before they shuffle off back to Section 2. I think they'll be a little more comfortable there with roster sizes and matchups and rivalries. A lot of Ephrata's natural rivals are in Section 2, so I don't think they're having a huge problem going back down to Section 2 for those guys. So hopefully you enjoyed their stay. Last game here against McCaskey on Friday. McCaskey at Ephrata. Okay, last Section 1 game. Penn Manor at Cedar Crest. Comets are 3-3 and 5-4. Crest is 1-5, 1-8. Coming off the loss to Ephrata. Penn Manor looks safe for districts. I want to say they're on the 14 line. If they win here, they're safely in. They're going to get a road game against either the 4, maybe the 5. They could even end up getting a Wilson here in a rematch. Keep an eye on that. Cedar Crest, they've played some nutty games here at Penn Manor lately. Both these teams have put up a ton of points. I know a couple years ago Penn Manor had to come flying back in the 4th quarter to win. And Crest's offense has been really good again. That's 2 years in a row where Crest has not wowed you with the win-loss, and their defense has really struggled. But their offensive numbers are really good. Levin Good's been fabulous. He's only been picked once. Dalton Ritter, I mentioned him in the notes that I'll be posting here today. He has 10 touchdown catches. He had 10 catches last week in the Ephrata game. So the offensive stats are fun for Crest, but it hasn't paid off in W's here again for another season. So see if the Comets can go to Lebanon and wrap up maybe a 14-13 seed in Quad A. Keep an eye on that. That's the crux of this game. Okay, Warwick at Wilson. See if the Bulldogs can go to 7-0 again. Township of Hempfield, great backyard rivalry game there. See if Hempfield gets in, win or lose. McCaskey at Ephrata, both teams playing for a little momentum going into the offseason. Ephrata waving goodbye to Section 1. And Penn Manor at Cedar Crest. See if the Comets can nail down a good seed here in districts. Okay, that's your Section 1 video. Live blog this week will be Mannheim Central against Garden Spot over at Eldon Ratu in Mannheim. I'll be over there. Get you a live blog about 6:30 or so. Keep an eye on that. I'll probably say this in all 3 videos, but I'll keep doing these until everybody's done. So, win, lose, or draw. I'll stay with the video previews every week. And thanks for the first 10 weeks. Good stuff. Appreciate you stopping by. Those are your Section 1 games. See ya.